GP Beats.
Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. Mind elevation, time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation, time is wasted, I use the mind elevation.
I know it's a lot to digest, but that doesn't mean you should digress. Stay on the studies, knowledge is power. As man thinketh, so is he. Be a lot in man, G-O-D. Generator, operator, destroyer. Hold up, give it a chance before you throw in the towel and call it quits. Take time to think what the prophet Drew Ali did. He bankrupted the U.S so you could be free. Brought back El-Bay, Al-Day, and Ali. He brought back civilization, found his mainframe. Not only in appearance, but an abstract strain. Brought back the constitutional folder game. I know pigs got guns, just maintain. Put the guns down. Have you lost your brain? They got nukes, tanks, and drone bomber planes. Yeah, black power, but RBG, a Moroccan flag colors. Can't you see? I know your sight is going, but you're not blind yet. It's all in your mind anyway, so don't mind threats. Life is too short. Not talking to rap pimp, calling yourself nigga when that's a chimp. Cave dweller, hey fella, a monkey is who you think you are, you stupid junkie. High off ignorance and ignorance. From sheets warning you of King Alfred plans. It's not about being in courts, but make them hear you. Declare your nationality, don't let them scare you.
The time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind
50 posts a
elevation.
day of brutality on Facebook. I know it's a lot, I still say study law books. Cause uniform pigs, wolves with badges creep. Ready to sink teeth in cause you act like sheep. Passive and docile, meaning a shepherd. And the one you choose got rooms with cross checking. Compass and square sigils with a G in the middle. Have masses follow them like he's playing a fiddle. Have masses follow them cause masses scared shitless. Stay witless but post a world star when they bear witness. Always waiting for the rights from civil trickness. All your black leaders are on King Alfred hit list. Dirty Moors smelling like they got shit in. Picture for Aquarian age, make them switch hit. Like when I found 2 ounces and did a quick flip. From black to Moorish American, give devil split lips. Men walking with slit pupils and lipless. Talking my language like this is Genesis. I used to be one of society's menaces. Acting devilish makes me shake my head every time I reminisce about the past. Living fast at night, no days. Full ahead of ways and low flow days. I know those days won't be coming back again. Change is good, but I still beg no friends.
Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind
Yo, conscious
elevation.
schools trying to school me with limited knowledge. Taught to them by overseers from Masters College. 5 G's a year, I call that robbage and racketeering. Mental slave boats got mine stacked to the ceiling with info and data. Too many more haters. Dissing the Moors birthright is dissing yours, player. Conscious schools chasing MCA fiat paper, not to be mean, but pyramid schemes for later. Grabbing at your attention like Aaron, don't care. Looking at a computer screen with a dead blank stare. I'm the Moorish MC, no pranks here. If you're too punk to be a Moor, just stand fair. If you scared to die, you better throw in the towel. A lot of black African group movements are vowel. Bow well, they say Moors, but they talking black shit. That's still brown, I think you brains in backwards. Common sense broke his neck from a backflip. Some knowledge people get is like a crack epidemic. Nothing but denial. When I call up a Moor, they don't even watch the German Moors class with Moor and Bay. Didn't watch Moorish Connection to hip hop. NBA nigga slaves got youths in flip-flops and minus degrees like he's Bosch in Miami Beach. So hungry with money and fronts in his teeth. Of lab weed or chemicals he always reeks. Not saved by the bell, punk or rap and screech. MC Captain teach the same boys on Backstreet. Get in the booth, run through beats like track meets. I call Nia KTS and calling out as witness. Moorish MC, when I rap I spit gifts. Rapping blood clot dummies are on my hit list. Blowing through the air, no kush, just natural mystics. I stay lawful, they want me legalistic. I'm on the corner schooling young gods you call mystics.
Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. KGP beats.
Time is wasting. Time is wasting, so it's all about some mind elevation time. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Here we are. Another one. And like the Moor said, it's going down the pike today. Because, so, pull this one out. Right? Pull this one out. Very interesting. That was this morning. You know, just getting ready for the little grind. Figuring, what the hell are we going to do with class or whatever today? Well, yeah. Let's just go with The Secrets of Ancient America. Yeah, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one. Let's go with that one. Here what these Europeans are saying. Drew Ali told the Moors, the Europeans gonna help him. Why not Moors? Then Moors looking at Moors who are doing stuff. Like, so we already know what's up as Moors. Unconscious Moors, they, some of them want to know what's up. But when you're on truth, it finds you. You don't have to go look. So after got the thing this morning, you know what I mean? Just thinking about it all day. Okay, when we go back, class is gonna be crazy tonight. Gonna go into this book. And then go check this teacher. And back in the room, she has these 2 bookshelves or whatever. So she says, yeah, that's my National Geographic little collection. That, I used to collect magazines or whatever. That was one of the magazines I used to collect. So they're back there, I mean, if you need to take anything, just, that was a long time ago, but, since we're here, I just brought them here, whatever. So going through them, it's probably like 2 shelves, maybe about 12 feet. 2 shelves, National Geographic, just yellow everywhere. And they're skinny, so like you really have to, and then they're cram-packed on this shelf, right? So going through. And bumped into March 1965, Spain and Portugal. Huh. Maybe they might have something. And then on the front, they got, the dark hair, thick lip, European looking lady. And then right down here, it says, Old Spain. Old Spain? What do you mean Old Spain? Not Negro, black, colored individual. And oh yeah, just for the record, Moors, there's none of these. These are exclusive. Brother Amun, one of the Nuwapian Moors out here that we build with, he was just, testing out his little stuff. So, since we're Moors, because, Nuwapians are Moors, he hit me off with a hat, just to have a hat. But this is not, these aren't out. But, you know, I don't know. If you want the eternal apparel hat, let me know and I'll let the more know that there's some people who want the hat and see if you get your exclusive. Just because, you know what I mean? There's unity here. There's no separation of how people think that there is. But anyways, so back to the story. So inside this National Geographic that, you know, if we put, you know, like this one's 65. So how majority of us, we didn't even know what the hell was going on in 65, but these guys had a magazine out talking about old Spain. So in there they had this map right here, the Grand Exchange. The Grand Exchange. So you see, you know, they went pretty hard. You know, they went pretty hard. Not quite hard. Hold on, boys. So they got this map of Spain and Portugal. And then up here, they have this, you know, box right here, you know, and it's different than all the other stuff, you know what I mean? It's pretty big, red stuff around it. Everything else has blue, black stuff around it, but this particular one right here has heraldry around it. So, the National Geographic, you know, I'm sure they know what they're doing. Editor-in-chief obviously looked this over and said, yeah, that's perfect. Being just like that, with that stuff around it, put the S big in red, you know what I mean? So everybody could know to read this right here. So let's just read this and see what this says. Stranded on Jamaica in 1503 and prepared to die, Christopher Columbus drafted a letter to the Spanish crown. Defending his career, he wrote, "Everyone to whom the enterprise was mentioned treated it as ridiculous, but now there is not a man, down to the very tailors, who does not beg to be allowed to become a discoverer. Columbus's enterprise and the empire it spawned rested upon stout pillars of Spanish power, military strength, maritime ability, a strong crown, vigorous national pride, religious zeal. These assets, galvanized by the triumphant climax in January 1492 of an 800-year crusade to oust the Moors, enabled Spain to master a new hemisphere." Now, why would, okay, let's just, these assets galvanized by the triumphant climax in January 1492 of an 800-year crusade to oust the Moors, enabled Spain to master a new hemisphere. Now, if Moors ruled Spain for 800 years from that place. Why would conquering the Moors give them a new hemisphere if it's supposed to be about over there only? If it's supposed to be about over there only, why is it that they had to oust the Moors first in order to come to America? Hmm? Now, if the Moors conquered Spain, why would the ousting of the Moors enable Spain to master a new hemisphere? Shouldn't that be Castile and Aragon? Or, oh, they merged in order to form Spain. So then Moors didn't conquer Spain then. And everybody who tells you Moors conquered Spain 7-11 or whatever, like that's telling you some BS. Probably a black leader. If you talk to people over there, the conquerors were really the ones who came in 1492, were the conquerors. Because everybody know that you can get at the Moors because they're the present possessors of the Moroccan Empire that Noble Drew Ali told the Moors extended from over there to over here. Even National Geographic knows. And they did what Noble Drew Ali said. We tell our story, to put it in print. You're not talking anything to anybody. You're going to let them get something so they have a copy so they can learn. So they can get some reference points. Because there's things that you're going to have in the book that you're not going to tell people in conversation. Again, Noble Drew Ali had a newspaper, Moorish Guide newspaper. Certain people claim that they rep Noble Drew Ali and stuff like that, got the paper out of circulation, just like the new Nuwapians took away Nuwapian nations of Moors off the newsletter and start calling it Tamarae Times and all that crap. Because the sellout is really real. And the sellout is always against the Moors. Whether it's them selling out saying we put people in slavery and all that type of stuff, when African leaders came out and said, we apologize for enslaving you guys, come back home. What do you mean Moors did what? The whole story they told you in this little box. Whole stuff. Told me about the Moroccan Empire, told me about everything. Told me about Al-Andalus. Told them, everyone, this man's writing a letter. He's in Jamaica about to die. He's writing a letter. You want a letter? Go listen to the letter by Jordan Anderson if you want a letter. Go listen to that letter. Don't sleep on the Jordan Anderson video. Please don't sleep on that one. conquering new hemisphere. So they're not, you know, they're not holding it back. They're telling, but our people don't want to know anything. Our people don't want to know. That's the last thing they want to do. They don't want to know. No, here's another one. Check. No more colored pictures. Now let's analyze what these people are doing right here. Okay. So when you look at this whole thing, right? See black and white pictures. You know what I mean? Those kind of pictures, right? You know, map and you know different stuff. But then when you get to right here, it's colored picture. So obviously that picture is colored because they want you to go to that picture. Everything else, black and white, looks like some drawing BS. Then they have portrait. Oh, so okay, automatically you're gonna go to the portrait. Just like you had a little square box and nothing else is in a box. Now they have the portrait. Let's see what they say on the portrait. Royal Collection, London, by permission of Her Majesty the Queen. Right, so the Queen knows. If the Queen's given permission, then Queen obviously read all this stuff or whatever in order for her to get the picture to put it in here. Ferdinand and Isabella. Two kingdoms wed in 1469 when Ferdinand of Aragon married Isabella of Castile. Determined, astute, and pious, the pair unified Spain and wrestled Granada from the Moors in 1492. That same year, they approved Columbus' audacious plan. How is it that these two live in a barn, royalty of some European family, has ships and all that stuff to go sail across the Atlantic Ocean? The same time when they conquered the Moors, all of a sudden they got ships. All of a sudden they got maps. They know where they're going. World's not flat no more. All of a sudden. And now picking up that people been telling our people what's up. And they don't want to hear. They want to go into everything other than what it is that Moors are trying to present to our people. And again, you know what I mean? We're like I told Moore last night. Forget stressing out these people. They don't want their birthright. Please don't get any heart attacks or whatever because people are saying they don't want to be Moors. You better go be a Moor and don't even worry about these crazy people who don't want to be Moors. Don't even worry about that. You enjoy your Moorish life. Because they tell you that the boat has left the docks. You have water up to your neck. You're talking about, do you want to debate about whether we're Moors? All right, you debate. You'll be on the boat. We'll be on the boat. You debate. Right. We're not done. We're not done yet with National Geographic. That was just the, hold on, 15 minutes? Okay, that was just that poster. Just that. See what National Geographic knows. Oh yeah, and for the record, don't even let Nanya Shabu El convince you that he didn't call Cujo. His Empress Danielle called Cujo when Nanya Shabu-El got locked up. Don't let them people fool you into thinking that that didn't happen. I'm telling you, she called me. This is after the lecture, the Skype that we did with him, where he was talking BS about Taj Tweet Bay and constitutions suspended. That's why we left it up, so everybody could see the folly. So don't let them tell you. Trust me. Nanya Shabu-El, when he got locked up, his wife called me. I even asked them, what the hell you guys you're calling Cujo? No way you're calling Cujo right now. No way. The hell are you talking about? He got kidnapped. What you get kidnapped for? Oh yeah, we told you guys about that UCC BS. We told you about that file papers BS. We told you about that go through their, fill out their form, whatever BS, but nah, Constitution suspended, and you guys know what you're talking about. And I still told them, go to rvbaypublications.com, go under Writs of Freedom, and you could use anything on there because it's downloadable for free. And see if you get him out. And obviously, he's FBI agent, so that was just a, you know what I mean? And then he just got out. How come he never showed how he got out? Like Moors who we know got kidnapped, right? Moors who we know got kidnapped, either they had the trial and then they let them go from there. They had the trial, railroaded them, and they're in there still. Or they had nothing, no trial, no nothing. They just got taken out of their cell late at one night, thrown their bag, and door closed. Those are the three ways. He didn't have no court dates. According to what, you know, this is what his wife was saying. They kidnapped him. Why would they kidnap him? I don't know. They just kidnapped him. What do you mean they just kidnapped him? Like, what did they kidnap him for? This is Nanya Shabu-El we're talking about that says EIL right now, Achikata Nation and all that. Now he got feathers, right? Nobody had the crown of feathers before Asir, the Duke of Tears. So don't even try to play like you're Indian, whoever right now. And don't even bring up about Dr. York, because he never wore that outside. He only wore that when he was Black Eagle. I'm trying to run games on people who study. Only when he was Black Eagle did he wear that crown of feathers that you see Nanya Shabu-El wearing, and that you see, you know, Brother Seer, the Duke of Tears wearing. But know that he bust that first, not Nanya Shabu-El. He's late. But it's the late guys. That's the guys who you people like to ride. The late guys. The guys who have no credibility. The guys who we told you, we put all the stuff up. Debris of Dirty Moors. He's an FBI agent. They took him after he helped bring down the Nuwapians. They brought him to freaking Canaanland from Atlanta. This is documented stuff. His name's Sean Henry. Like, stuff is documented. Oh, but he's some Atsikad Nation head of a nation guy. How come he wasn't the head of a nation guy when he was Nuwapian? All of a sudden he's head of a nation guy? And you guys are riding with that guy? And then when we're telling you that he called Kudrow when he got kidnapped, you're not calling Kudrow to try to find out about, you know, whatever. You're talking BS. I dare you. Bring the wife. Bring his empress. You ask her. If she says that she didn't call me on the phone, I'm telling you they're liars. More reason for you not to follow them. They're lying through their teeth. They're lying through their glasses. They're lying through everything. Their eyes closed. They're still lying. They're lying through everything. Lying. If they tell you that she never called me. They're straight lying. And you're gonna that's the nation you're gonna be part of? The heads who are liars? Those are your heads, the liars, the liar Moors. Add them to the list too of the dirty Moors who not to follow. Liar Moors. Moors who lie for no reason. When they could just say, oh yeah, we called, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he's in Canada, we're in Canada, so, you know, who else are we gonna call? There ain't no other Moors out here. It's Great Seal, MHHS, Colonial Moors, and whoever else out here that says that they're Moors, that aren't affiliated with us. That's the only Moors out here. Trust that. Been around. Before us, ain't nobody here calling themselves Moors, talking about Moors, doing nothing. Everybody else was foreign to here talking about Moors. So we tell you that there's unity because we have the Nuwapian hat right here. These are Nuwapian to the point where they were going down and protesting for Dr. York and stuff like that. When that was happening out here, they were the ones that were heading it. They were the ones who were talking to the people, who this was one of their spots. If you think Nuwapians was some little thing or whatever, like they were out here. They used to go to the land and all that. And they come back and then we build on what's really good because we're not Nuwapian, but yeah, we know, you already know that we know each other. Let me get that holy tablets right there. Let me get, you know what I mean? Lesson scroll 857778. There. Let me get the black book right there. Let me get the mind, potential. What else you got? Oh, let me get Leviathan 1, 2, 3, all those. I don't think we don't know. Trust that we know. Not novices. Don't let these people lie to you. Go watch the Skype yourself so you can hear him yourself talk about Constitution suspended. That was way back then. People still enforcing Constitution today. Doesn't that mean they're a liar? If they're still enforcing Constitution today, Moors right now enforcing Constitution so their whip doesn't get stolen by these people. You're talking about, I thought it was suspended. You went on the record, said that it's suspended. You're on the record talking BS about Taj. Taj maybe doesn't know what he's talking about and whatever like that. Stop following these old people or whatever. But he's still around. Still doing the work. But I see you went from L to EIL to semicolon dash 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 name to now a whole different thing. And you switch up about 500 times. You people can't see that these people are liars. Real doesn't recognize real anymore. This is new age now. This is a new time. So no code of the streets and all that stuff. No discipline. You know, I mean, let these youths run amok or whatever. Listen to their BS music, wear tight pants, show me their shit stained underwears and stuff like that. That's cool now. Wear a tight shirt and I'm seeing your nipples and stuff like that. That's cool. That's the cool stuff. Like, tattoos on your face aren't cool. Men with dye hair weren't cool. Back in the day, you dyed hair guys, you gotta look at funny. Then now you got red, yellow, orange, pink, and all that type of stuff. This is what the children got as representation. There's about no Kendrick Lamar won an award and all that stuff because it's Europeans run the hip hop industry. That's why they're repping him. People made $500 gazillion off some Black Panther and all that stuff. Like, how much the people who signed them making? They give back 5 little schools or something like that. They did something for our people. You don't see the conditions getting worse out here? You don't see girls 14, 15 right now, regular thing, they want to have a baby and stuff like that? 14 or whatever? What are you talking about? You know how much licks you would get? You know how much licks you would get? Talking about a nipple. You talk about a boy touch your hand back in the day, you get your ass bust. What are you talking about? You're 14. What do you mean you know about twerking and stuff like that? What the hell are you talking about? But this is what passiveness, this is what not knowing about your history does. Makes you a dumb nigger and part of the nigger industry that keeps the BS going. That's why we told you, the ship has left the dock. What are you waiting for? You're looking at Moors like Moors don't have something. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Anybody who I know the Moors, like they don't got no issues like I see Negroes got. Nothing close to that. And the little issues that Moors got, you deal with that. Ain't no big deal. But we have a foundation. We're not, like there's a certain stability you have knowing about your nationality and your birthrights. Something happens, like I'm saying. No, I'm supposed to be going on National Geographic today. Allah just put that there just so I can know. And then it was right along with the cards and the readings or whatever like that of things not being stubborn. No stubbornness happening anymore. It's just gonna be going. Either ride the wave or get out the water. No wrong, get out the water, you know what I mean? Just know, when this wave's coming again. So, you don't know when that butterfly is gonna light on your finger again. That'll be the last time, ever. So don't not know who you are and lose touch with what's really real. Because people are losing touch by the day, by the minute, they're losing touch. Why? Because when it comes to nationality and birthrights, they don't want anything to do with it. Anything else, they're game. They're game for a Coke or a bag of chips. They're game for some sneakers. They're weave, they're game. They're game for some chicken. Game for the game. You don't know about your birthrights though? Nah, because you know what I mean? Like when LeBron wins the championship, and then we're gonna be able to wear Cleveland shirts because LeBron won. You guys are damn zombies. Zombies. National Geographic. Oh, Spain. One half of thy face fiesta, and the other misery. So wrote novelist Perez Galdós of the 19th century homeland, a nation long inured to a cruel geography, a climate of extremes, and a history of conflict. Today, the misery fades as irrigation turns barren lands to green and new industry spurs the economy. But Spain's fiestas remain, spicing life with the gaiety and drama. Seville's feria, or fair above, pulses with the tempo of stomping feet, clapping hands, and passionate flamenco rhythms. Tiled arc of the Plaza de España in Seville sees a quieter moment of relaxation. The late afternoon paseo or stroll beside arcades fronting government offices. Built for the Spanish-American exhibition of 1929, the plaza blends Moorish and Renaissance architectural styles. And Renaissance means Moors. So Moorish and Moorish architectural styles? They didn't say, everybody knows when the Renaissance, that was the Moors. So why are they saying Moorish and Renaissance? Any Renaissance, you're dealing with Asiatic people. You're not dealing with some, and then they said Moorish. But I thought the whole point was to get the Moors out of Spain. Like, why would you kick the Moors out, but then still do Moorish stuff? Still have Moorish things around? Does it sound like they kick somebody out to you? Or does it sound like they occupied somebody's stuff? But remember, you know, most of our people, they don't read, so they don't know. And that's been the downfall of our people. They choose not to know. Medieval walls and Tower of Tossa de Mar on the Costa Brava bespeak a time of the terror when Barbary pirates hid out in secluded coves by day and attacked by night. Let's go look up Barbary and then go look up Berber. And then look up what it means in Arabic, not the English translation, what it means. Look up what it means in Arabic. No, what are you waiting for? You could do that right now on the stuff. You have the stuff in your phone. Tell me if something Moors doesn't come up. You tell me. If something Moors doesn't come up, you probably used unabridged. Go get an unabridged and try again. Playing games. But I didn't see nothing. Yeah, because you looked up the abridged. Look up the etymology. I bet you it says more there. Stop the BS. At Valencia, new suburbs spread wide and flat onto the crop-carpeted plain. But old bridges on the Rio Turia span centuries as well as water. A mellow archway loomed on the riverbank, a remnant of the old wall and city gate. From that point, streets grew snug, and the city fitted its still popular name, Valencia del Cid, or Valencia of the Cid, honoring the 11th century knight who fought the Moors and became the ideal of Spanish chivalry. National Geographic. Remember, and then think about their reach. And remember, this is 1965 that they're talking about this. Nobody knows who the Moors are. The Moors are just talking some BS. We're just some little group over here that has something in Noble Drew Ali, and then they look like they're a religion, so I don't want nothing to do with that. You're so off if that's how you think about Moors. You know how off you are? Super off. You're so off. Darkness was like, you're off. Forget, I'm off. You're off. Alhambra, a palace befitting paradise. The Moors who conquered Spain in the 8th century believed the fertile plain of Granada rivaled the heaven described in the Quran and so established a grand city there. Does that sound like conquerors to you? You really tell me that that's a conqueror? You don't want nothing to do with Moors because the Moors are the Arabs and they conquered everywhere. Okay, let's take our emotions, right? Let's take our emotions and hang them up over here, let them dry. And use your thinking mind. Remember when you were a child? Remember when you were a child and you used to think? And then you had imaginary friends and all that stuff. You guys used to have so much fun or whatever, and nobody's there. Or maybe somebody was there, and only you can see them because you're a child and you weren't tainted by the BS that adults teach the children. Then blame the children when they're acting like a dumbass. Because your dumbass taught me to be a dumbass. That's why I'm a dumbass. Nobody wants to take responsibility. So go back to thinking like when you were a child. Go back there. Alhambra, a place befitting paradise. Okay, so this is a place that when you go there, it's supposed to stimulate your senses to the point where you think this is paradise. This is what some conquerors did. The conquerors believed that the fertile plain of Granada, rivaled or was matched up against evenly the heaven described in the Quran. These people are conquerors. If those people are conquerors, then bring them on. Let's live under them. Because if these conquerors got paradise and there's some earth BS is reminiscent of Quran scriptures talking about heaven, we probably want to be around them people. We probably want to do everything that those people do. Forget anybody else that's saying they're doing something. Because these people are boots on the ground. You can see this looks like heaven. But I'm alive in a body. Like, what do you mean I'm in heaven? That's how the Moors conquered. BS. Conquered nothing. Civilized. That's what the Moors did. And the Moors got conquered. But remember that Spain only destroyed the stronghold in Granada. So when you get a map and you look at Granada, not a map of over there, a map of the world, and see where Granada is compared to the entire world. And tell me if did they conquer everybody who said that they're Moors, or did they only conquer particular Moors in that little area? But then remember that conquering the Moors in that little area gave them land, the doctrine of discovery powers, unum sanctum powers, to come and conquer some Moors again. Now we're on this side. We found other kind of boundary markers. The swarthy Moors left a strong genetic stamp on this part of Spain, so people grew shorter and darker along the road. The whitewashed town of Elche, nestled beneath the spangled shade of date palms, we might have been in Africa. The land was dry and pale, as though bleached by the sun. At last we entered the Moorish palace itself, with Irving as our guide. The transition was almost magical. It's the conquering people. The conquering people are magical. The stuff that the conquering people did is magical. So obviously you're not going to have some problem with the conquering people. Like there would be no issue with them if they're repping like that. Just think about it. Forget about you heard somebody say something in a DVD or on some goddamn YouTube video. Use your own goddamn common sense. And again, you know, if you don't, use your common sense not to use. You know? I'm not going to be worried that you're not using your common sense. You want to be a dumbass. That, like, I'm not. See, you're the one that's a dumbass, not me. So trust me, I'm not going to be worried. But those who don't want to be a dumbass, use your common sense. We already know we're not going to wake up everybody. We know that already. But those of you who want to wake up, you have opportunity. It's going to be a little swim because the boat has left the dock. But we left a rope. Don't worry. Titanium alloy rope. You got from Wonder Woman and all that stuff. Rope's not gonna break. No, you know, shark's gonna chew through the rope or whatever like that. You just follow the rope all the way back to the. We're just up there. Boat's up there. You don't worry. You just know that you have to just follow the rope. Don't worry about anybody who doesn't want it. Let them do their little thingy, whatever. Let them do their backstroke and all that stuff. You don't worry about them. You stick to the path. You already know that you're not Negro black color. You already know that you're not African because you're over here. So the only other thing that you could be is either Hebrew Israelite or more. That's it. Everything else is white. And you already know that you can't be a Hebrew Israelite because if you were, then you would be with those people who you see on the street talking BS about their Hebrew Israelite. And you're definitely not down with them. So don't tell me any BS about, you don't got no choice right now. There's only one choice. Same thing as your ancient foremothers and forefathers, who these people conquered. And then called you conqueror. When they were actually the heathens. They were actually the ones who did the dirt. They weren't about your little drug dealing BS that you're doing today, talking about you did something. Arrest you because you did something. Well, they way more stuff than what you ever did, ever think of doing. When they take princess like Mataoka, 14 years old or whatever like that, marry her to some European man, you know what they did to your people. And then you stop and start using your common sense. CIA guy. CIA guy, the hell's his name again? Kips or Fibs or something. I'm CIA guy. CIA guy will tell you, don't let these people think that they can violate the Constitution and all that. That's the supreme law of the land. Anybody in government that violates Constitution, they could be brought up on federal charges. CIA guy telling people. So we're letting you know that if you're on the path, know that everybody knows. Everybody knows about this legacy, this Moorish legacy. And then no little BS people tell you about this Moorish, and then you're not Moorish because and all this type of stuff. It's all the same stuff. Moors, Moorish, M-A-U-R, M-U-U-R. It's all the same stuff. Don't let them play you. Again, National Geographic. The transition was almost magical. We were at once transported into other times, treading the scenes of Arabian story. We found ourselves in a great court paved with white marble and decorated at each end with light Moorish peristyles. In the center was an immense basin stocked with goldfish. At the upper end of this court rose the great tower of Camares. Washington Irving enjoined moonlight swims in the palace ponds, but we did not follow our countrymen slavishly, nor did we try to break fast as he had done in the Hall of the Ambassadors, once the grand audience chamber of Muslim monarchs. It still evokes a spirit of Spain's 8 Moorish centuries. Now, we're just saying, it doesn't really sound like conquering. I know what we've been told, but let's use our common sense. If the Moors were the conquerors, let's say, forget the Moors. If you conquered someone and you took their house over, that house staying the same after you get that? No, you're probably going to repaint, you're going to redecorate. You're not keeping the stuff how it is. Why would you keep it how it is? You conquered them. But real interesting that these Moors that they kicked out of Spain and all that stuff, get the Moors out of here, chase the Moors out of Ireland and all this type of stuff, all this hoopla. But they still have Moorish stuff around. They didn't redecorate or anything. They just left everything how it was. And remember, this is National Geographic, and they keep making the connection. They brought up the Arabian when they're talking about the Moorish. They brought up the Barbary when they're talking about the Moorish. They brought up the Moors when they're talking about the Moorish. Bro, this is National Geographic. We're gonna say they're lying? Why are we gonna say they're lying? Like, come on now. Why would we say they're lying? Okay, yeah, they might be lying on some stuff. But the fact remains that this is irrefutable. And it's in print. And it's dated. Again, National Geographic. African Muslims began their Spanish invasion in the year 711. Well, Muslims, African Muslims, didn't certain people say that they're African? And didn't certain people say that they grew up in Islam? So if you're African and you grew up in Islam, okay. So National Geographic knows that Moorish Renaissance architecture is still going on all over the place. Everywhere, not just where the Moors, quote unquote, had their last stronghold destroyed. They connect them to Arabs. They connected the palace pond with the white marble floor and all that. That's the white marble floor still. Still? They never said, let's dig this up and do something different? No, how come they wouldn't do that? They said the African Muslims. Now, if they're saying the African Muslims, if they're saying African Muslims, like they're really saying African Muslims? Now remember, we're talking about the people who brought civilization to that part of the world. They weren't conquering and invading. They weren't pillaging. They assisted with making that place better. Why? Because the first principle is love. And if you have, you better look out for somebody who doesn't have. Just the, right? That's just what it is. Look out for those who don't have. How many times have you looked out for somebody and they stab you in the back? Okay, the same thing that the Europeans did. The exact same thing. We helped them and then they stab us in the back. Just like your friend, your girl, your whoever, that you and them were cool or whatever like that until they stabbed you in the back after all the stuff you did for them and all that stuff. And now they stab you in the back and you and them don't talk no more. And you guys got, that's the same relationship we got with the European. How do you deal with that? Oh, you separate yourself from them and you do your own thing. You don't even mess with them people anymore. Oh, it makes sense, right? When you use your common sense. There's people right now who 1 year ago, there's people right now who 1 year ago, they were telling you, police your own communities. One year ago, there was people who were telling you, in order to get the young thugs off the street or whatever, everybody put $20 in the pot in the community, and then whatever money you collect, you pay the youth or the whoever you think are the bad apples or whatever like that. Pay them, get them on some type of program or whatever, so they can be the police of the community. But then 2018, they're going to hiring police so that, you know, they're protected when they do a lecture. Well, you need protection. You need protection to do a lecture? You guys give us some information or whatever like that. You need bodyguard? Sounds like a rap game to me. Sounds like no information. Sounds like entertainment to me. Sounds like Puffy. And, you know, Michael B. Jordan can't get into Puffy's party because then he got bodyguard with him. Bodyguard. You going to a party, you got bodyguard. What kind of fun is that? What kind of life is that? You got bodyguards walking around you. That's your life? That's really you out here teaching people, but you want bodyguards. Right? Man believes in God and all that stuff, but he has Pope Mobile. You got Pope Mobile. What do you mean bulletproof? What do you mean 50-inch glass and the Pope Mobile? What do you mean? Why? Aren't you? Oh, God sent that for you. Okay, I get it. I get it. God sent that for you. Yes. Yes. We'll go with that one. Why not? Why not? The higher force wants you protected. So the higher force gave you police to be your protection. Okay. All right. All right. You can go with that one. You can go with that one. National Geographic. Let's get back to this. The bitter terrain. Oh, before I go there, they succeeded. Oh, damn. African Muslims began their Spanish invasion in the year 711. Their scimitars swiftly sliced through the Visigoth Spain to the Pyrenees and beyond to the battlefield of Tours. After they abandoned hope of conquering Europe, the Moors settled down to bring civilization to their Spanish garden. They succeeded everywhere, but in the northern mountains of Asturias, where rude, embattled Christians held out unconquered. Gradually, these knights grew bolder and pressed down from their round-stone castles to raid the square fortresses of the Moors. The bitter terrain slowed these wars, Spain's own crusades. Finally came triumph with a united crown and army. Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile drove out the last Moorish king and moved into the Alhambra on January 2nd, 1492. They came in the nick of history for Spain to export its Roman strength and Moorish grace to half the world. One should never excite a working barber. But I forgot until too late that I was being shorn by the barber of Seville. I bought a black Andalusian hat to hide the damage. And then just go look up Andalusian hat, see what comes up. Though Martha was tired, she climbed the Giralda Tower with me. We had to go by twos to thwart suicides. No one is allowed to climb the 320-foot Giralda alone. Peering down from the belfry of this 12th century Moorish skyscraper, the visitor sees all Seville, cathedral, crowded street of serpents, garden garnishing Alcazar, flat countryside, and voluptuous Rio Guadalquivir. For generations, the river docks of Seville mothered the New World. This was the chief port, sometimes the only port, to serve Spanish America. Serve Spanish America. So remember, think about it. If the point of Ferdinand and Isabella was to conquer the Moors and get Spain back, what do the Moors have to do with America? Because the same people who conquered the Moors was who funded Christopher Columbus' voyage. So we get to the Americas. What the hell they find over here? Don't forget again, National Geographic. And they bring up their little Inca stuff. The civilization of the people before whoever was here. Now, if that's an Inca, if those are Incas right there, especially that one, then you know that they're talking about our people. There's no way. Oh, and Mars, you see that, right? See the earlobes right there? You see the Buddha earlobes? I have the Buddha earlobes. I thought that was some African stuff or whatever. I thought that's only over there. That headwear look familiar. Those lips and those noses look familiar. Yeah. The Spanish melted down almost every Inca artifact of silver or gold. Rare pieces that survive include a ritual cup adorned with a sacred feline and figurines from sacrificial burials. A man with the stretched earlobes of a noble, a woman with a wad of cocoa in her left cheek. Interesting. Interesting. Because you know when they start talking about nobles and all that, they're talking about the Moors. But everybody knows, except our people. Our people, the only ones that don't know. Why don't they know? I don't know why they don't know. They should know. Because I mean, what the hell? Why not know? So, got about an hour. So we're gonna take a crack. We're gonna take a crack at Secrets of Ancient America, Karl Lerberger. Europeans go in. Gunnar Thompson, American Discovery. Truth must be our guiding light because history sets the very tone and direction of our society. And only a truthful society can effectively meet the challenges that lie ahead. See why Noble Drawley made one of your principles? Truth. Look at how truth, one of our principles as Moors, is being looked at. But there's some people just writing a book about secrets of ancient America. You know, nothing got to do with the Moors, but this speaks volume relative to truth. Truth must be our guiding light. Wouldn't that mean that they're probably more than likely going to be in favor of Moorish? More than likely they're going to be in favor of Moorish, especially Moorish who deal with the five principles. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Truth being the second principle that we're speaking about for people who might be in the dark and saying, why is he keeps talking about truth like that's some type of special thing? For Moors, that's a special thing, that truth. Because the truth is what will make you free. The lies just keep you dummy, super dumb. Then have Moors laughing at you because you're telling people police their own community, but then you got police as your security. Shouldn't you have those same guys that you're telling other people pay them $2,000 a month or whatever to police the community? Why are you hiring domestic terrorists as your security? So, conscious community guy is going to the same agency that murdered all these black guys, and they're using them as their security at events that cater to people who really aren't against those guys. Because even if you didn't like Jerry Curls, F the police, you were repping that. Because everybody had something to sing that song about. This is how these youngins do. This is how these youngins just throw away being a liberator. They throw away being a liberator. Like you just said, hey, liberation. Forget that. I'm about to go get me some domestic terrorists for my security. Forget these guys in the hood or whatever who, the same fiat I gave those guys. And then it's not even like they have the suit or the jacket, with the holster sling or something like that. They got the on the hip with the vest with the police on it and all that. No way they got the vest with the police on it. You really think the people with the vest with the police on it aren't the same people who murdered all these people that you guys marching up and down the place for? That's the conscious guy's security. No, for real. No, for real. So, a highwayman is the security. Truth must be our guiding light. Because history sets the very tone and direction of our society. And only a truthful society can effectively meet the challenges that lie ahead. A society that denies the truth about its past will never be free to face the realities of the future. It will always have its feet mired in a false identity. Who do you think they're talking to? Who do you think they're talking to? Some Europeans. Who do you think they're talking to? You think they're talking to Europeans? A society that denies the truth. The truth is that you're not Negro, black, colored. What? What do you mean you're not Moors? What do you mean you're not Moors? You're dark skinned, right? Yeah, okay. Moor means any dark-skinned person, especially African Negro. Okay. Dark skin, right? Yeah. So if you're dark-skinned, then how are you not a Moor? Well, because I was watching. What are you watching? What? What do you mean watching? Just told you that the guy has police as security. The other guy, he's in bus station sleeping. Like, I go to bus station, I might sleep, right? But you can't be saying that you're the general and stuff like that, and you're sleeping in the bus station. People taking video of you, not even pictures. Sleeping in the bus station. That's how you know these were the guys that when we used to go on back in the day. I don't even know if they have this anymore, but back in the day when you had um, your little summer 1 week, 2 week retreat, whatever like that, boys camp and all that stuff, right? And you go to boys camp, and first night bleaching up all night. But first guy that falls asleep, well, you're done for. Everything's gonna happen to you. You might wake up, you have no eyebrows, with mohawk with the middle part missing. Just because you fell asleep. These guys are the generals and your leaders, the hell out of here. You want to know why people don't take our people serious? You know, people, do you think people take them serious? Please. At least Moore's right rich trying to do something. At least that. At least some Moore's gonna write a writ instead of do nothing. The usual story of Columbus. The usual story of Columbus. We have all heard the usual story of Columbus and how he completed 4 voyages to the Americas between 1492 and 1504, thereby igniting the colonization and exploration of the Americas by Europeans. Oh, not by Spaniards, not by the white man, not by the devil. Call it like it is. Call it just like it is. This will be a black guy's book. The white man came here and then they killed the black guys because the black guys have their people lost. Right? Again, have people lost. A society that denies the truth about its past will never be free to face the realities of the future. It will always have its feet mired in a false identity. We are also told that he thought that he landed in the islands that abutted what was then known as the East Indies. So he named the natives Indians. The 4 voyages of Columbus took place during a 13-year period, 1492, 1493, 1493, 1496, 1498, 1500, 1502, 1504. As for America, it was named after the little-known Amerigo Vespucci, who sailed farther along the South American coast than Columbus, and so was the first to positively identify the new land as a continent. However, the veneration of Columbus as quote-unquote first discoverer and what are believed to be his ideals dates back to colonial times that has been interwoven into our cultural history ever since. For example, the name Colombia instead of America first appeared in 1738 in a weekly publication of British Parliament debates that was then sent over to the colonies. Following the American Revolution, the use of Columbus as the founding figure of the New World nations and the use of the word Columbia, or simply the name Columbus, spread rapidly as numerous cities, towns, counties, and streets were named after him. Today, in academic vocabulary, a lasting commemoration of Columbus is the term pre-Columbian, which is routinely used to refer to the peoples and cultures of the Americas before his arrival. Writing in the October 2009 issue of Smithsonian, Edmund S. Morgan, PhD, Sterling Professor Emeritus of Yale University, gave an introduction to the legacy of Christopher Columbus. Quote, Columbus surely expected to bring back some of the gold that was supposed to be so plentiful. The spice trade was one of the most lucrative in Europe, and he expected to bring back spices. But what did he propose to do about the people in possession of these treasures? Columbus and Spain's Ferdinand and Queen Isabella had expected to take dominion of the newly discovered lands, but what might they offer that would ease the process? If it was deemed necessary to rule by force, what would justify such a strategy? Morgan's answer reflects the historical truth. The answer is that they had two things. They had Christianity and they had civilization. Christianity has meant many things to many men, and its role in the European conquest and occupation of America was varied. But in 1492 to Columbus, there was probably nothing very complicated about it. He would have reduced it to a matter of corrupt human beings destined for eternal damnation, redeemed by a merciful Savior. Christ saved those who believed in him, and it was the duty of Christians to spread his gospel and thus rescue the heathens from the fate that would otherwise await them. The superior clothing, housing, food, and protection that attached to the civilization made it seem to the European a gift worth giving to the ill-clothed, ill-housed, and ungoverned barbarians of the world. A much different story of Columbus begins in the city of Toledo, located in the center of what became a united Spain in the early 15th century. Occupied since the Bronze Age, it had become an important commercial and administrative nexus for the Roman Empire. After its fall to the Visigoths, Toledo served as their capital until the Moors conquered it in 712. During the following centuries, there were many revolts and many rulers as its population became largely Muladi, M-U-L-A-D-I, a mixture of Arab, Berber, and European ancestry who were brought up in the Arab culture. Thus, Toledo became the center of La Convivencia, the peaceful coexistence of Jews, Christians, and Muslims. Then, in 1085, it became the first city taken in La Conquista of Spain by Christian forces led by Alfonso IV of Castile, the Sixth of Castile. After the conquest, Toledo continued to be a major cultural center, in part because of its 28 Arabic libraries, were not pillaged. Thus, a center was established where books were translated from Arabic or Hebrew into Spanish by Muslims and Jewish scholars, and then from Spanish into Latin by Castilian translators. This allowed long-lost knowledge to spread through Christian Europe, and the results were major advances in medicine, mathematics, art, astronomy, and geometry, but not in geography. It was in Toledo that Christopher Columbus and his brother Bartholomew set up a cartographic studio, and around 1490, they drew a map. But this was not a map of the world as they knew it to be. Christopher and his brother, who followed him, knew they were not going to sail to China, as the old world tells us. Why? There were more than a few reasons. First, they would have known the world was not flat, contrary to what was being commonly thought and taught in the modern West. A 1945 pamphlet issued by the British Historical Association, which was an organization dedicated to the educating teachers, suggested that this is the second of 20 of the most common errors that were taught to school children. Historian James Hannan explains, for all the flatties. The myth that people in the Middle Ages thought the earth is flat appears to date from the 17th century as part of the campaign by Protestants against Catholic teachings, but it gained currency in the 19th century thanks to inaccurate histories such as John William Drapier's History of the Conflict Between Religion and Science, 1874. John William Draper, History of the Conflict Between Religion and Science, 1874, and Andrew Dixon White, History of the Warfare of Science with Theology. History of the Warfare of Science with Theology, 1896. Atheists and agnostics championed the conflict thesis for their own purposes, but historical research gradually demonstrated that Draper and White had propagated more fantasy than fact in their efforts to prove that science and religion are locked in an eternal conflict. And then keep in mind, brother, master teacher, uncle, Kabahaya Wathakamene, when we brought him out here to do the lecture, his lecture was titled, Science is Seen Spirituality, Spirituality is Unseen Science. This was about 2003, 2004. Science is seen spirituality. Spirituality is unseen science. Second, Columbus would have known about the New World because of his access to both Viking and Arab maritime maps. His wife was Philippa Perestrello, whose family had intermarried with the Drummonds St. Clair family of the famous Henry Sinclair, Prince of Orkney Islands, located north of Scotland. Legend says that Sinclair had set sail a century earlier from Norway to explore the New England coastline and establish a colony in the Americas. If this were true, surely details of his voyages would have been available to Columbus through his wife's family. However, more important, there were the saga of Eric the Red and Greenlander and Icelandic stories and texts about the 11th century Vineland colonies or Vinland colonies, Vinland colonies. Third, Columbus knew how to get to the Americas because in addition to Viking maps and information gleaned from his famous in-laws, Columbus and his brother would have seen Arabic and other charts that depicted the New World as they searched the libraries in Toledo for other maps to copy from. That these were in foreign languages would not have been a problem. Although Columbus was not a scholar, he nevertheless could speak and read Italian, Latin, Portuguese, Spanish, and perhaps Catalan, skills learned through collecting more than 50,000 books by the time of his death. 50,000 books. And remember, they had no books in Europe. So all them 50,000 books that he had came from the same people who civilized them. Then they stabbed them in the back. Same thing that you're going through right now. That brother that he did some BS or whatever to you, you had to cut him off. That sister did some crap, and you had to cut them off. Because let's see what else we got here. Another researcher, Jean D. Matlock, who has written many books about Indians' connections to Jesus, Moses, Atlantis, and countries such as Mexico, Turkey, and Israel, is certain that sea-going people from India reached America. Jean D. Matlock, India once ruled Americas. India once ruled Americas. Matlock claimed that traders from the Indus Valley, or the Indo-Turkish region, reached the Americas in 5000 to 4000 BC, where they mined minerals in Michigan, Colorado, southern Arizona, Peru, and other parts of both North and South America. More reliably, he demonstrated a direct connection between specific Native American tribes and people from India. Matlock's thesis is that migrations from India inundated the American Southwest with conquest, colonization, and mining expeditions that engendered and influenced many modern-day Native American peoples, including the Navajo, Hopi, Hohokam, Tohono, and Pima tribes. He suggested that the exoduses of these people and cultures were set in motion by devastating floods, political instability, wars, and purges as a consequence of the Indian caste system. However, it all ended after about 1200 AD, when sectarian and religious wars between Indian Brahmins and invading Muslims divided and isolated India. According to Matlock, the Nagas, people of the snake in Sanskrit, were a highly civilized mercantile class from what is now Afghanistan, Tibet, Pakistan, and northwestern India, who eventually expanded their influence throughout the world. The Naga capital was called Oudh, O-U-D-H, and was located near present-day Herat, Afghanistan. The citizens of Oudh were called Udam, which means people in Sanskrit. Thus, according to Matlock, it is no coincidence that the name of the Tohono O'odham tribe from southern Arizona and northern Mexico had the same root, since in ancient Kashmiri or Sanskrit, the word T-O-N or T-A-H-U-N means brotherhood. Moreover, the Native American O'odham word for snake, Vamat, VAHMAT, resembled its counterpart in Sanskrit, Vemar, Vehmar. While little remains of the Udlam language, Matlock notes similarities in his study between words from India and the languages of many Native Americans, including the Zuni, Hopi, Navajo, Mogollon, and Hohokam tribes. Everybody knows something. Only the Negroes. Only the Negroes. Oh yeah, we get this one too. Because I remember this one got sent. Just because it's right in tune. So you can go to watch In Search of Strange Visitors. In Search of is on YouTube. Right, this is the Leonard Nimoy TV show, In Search of. And the episode you're looking for is Strange Visitors, aka Oracle Chamber. Right, and it's dealing with this mystery hill in New Hampshire and Stonehenge being over here. America's Stonehenge. America's Stonehenge. America's Stonehenge. All right. Oh, and also a city called Salem in New Hampshire. Salem, New Hampshire. Salem, New Hampshire. Salem, New Hampshire. As I mentioned in chapter 1, Columbus had access to Arab maps documenting the Americas. While Europeans were struggling to emerge from the Dark Ages, Arabian merchants made maps showing the American continents. For example, Al-Masudi's Historical Annals of 942 described a voyage from Cordova under the command of Captain Kashkash, K-H-A-S-H, K-H-A-S-H, that returned from the west, filled with treasures after a long voyage. Another account is one of the 12th century Arabic geographer Muhammad al-Idrisi described a trip to America by the Al-Mughrim brothers. Mugrurim. Al-Mugrurim. Brothers in 1154 that took the same amount of time it took Columbus, about a month. Al-Idrisi also described rich fishing in the North Atlantic and whalebone huts of Labrador's Inuit natives, while others described the return of boats from transatlantic voyages loaded with American tobacco. American tobacco? I thought this is certain people brought. Also, Persian cartographer Hamad Allah Mustafi, map of 1350, thought to be the earliest Arab map showing the Americas, clearly shows a large continent across the Atlantic that he called Wak Wak. You got something to say. Connections to Mesopotamia and Egypt. As for Egypt, the evidence for a presence in the Americas includes inscriptions, artifacts, and even words found in some Native American languages. Compelling evidence of Egyptian contact with the Americas includes the discovery of nicotine and cocoa or coca in Egyptian mummies. In 1992, German scientist Svetla Balabanova and her colleagues reported finding cocaine, hashish, and nicotine in Egyptian mummies. Despite initial criticisms, the original findings have been supported by substantial evidence. Some diffusionists look to ancient Egypt Queen Hatshepsut recorded expedition to the land of Punt in 1493 BC as being a trip to North America. A mural at her temple in Deir el-Bahri, Deir-el-Bahri, shows an ear of maize and a pineapple, which are New World plants. Thompson has written that Punt was located on the American mainland. It's real. It's definitely real. Right. You know, we just read a few pages and got all that from those few pages. So don't sleep on the Europeans because, you know, he's the devil and all that stupid talk. Forget all that crap. Those days are over. It's all about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice if you're going to be saved in these times. In these times, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, or you're done for. That's just what it is. And then Rick Steves, if you know Rick Steves, the travel guy, Rick Steves' travel show on Andalusia tonight. Right, tonight, he's going to Andalusia. And in the little intro stuff or whatever like that, the little intro stuff, he spoke on the Moors' vast influence in Spain. That was a vast influence when they conquered them. They conquered and then they took vast influence. Or you get influenced by conquerors. And then not go back to your original stuff. You keep what the conquerors gave you. It doesn't sound like conquering to me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It doesn't really sound like conquering. So we'll just get to some questions. We got some time still. I wanted to join a temple, but I see a division. What's the difference between Canaanland, Clock of Destiny, or MST? How will we be tough in Georgia? Well, if you're dealing with the right Moors, there's no difference between Canaanland, Clock of Destiny, or MST. Whether you talk to Clock of Destiny or MST or Canaanland, they'll be telling you about Clock of Destiny or Canaanland or MST or MHT or, you know, whatever else is affiliated that's doing things right. The whole idea of UC division is because people on the outside are, when they deal with anybody else, they separate the good and the bad. When they deal with Moors, they put all the stuff together. When they deal with anybody else, they separate the BS from the truth. When they deal with Moors, put all the stuff together. What we're saying is do with Moors like you do with everybody else. When you look, know that, oh, well, there's probably some of those people that are whatever. But that's not division. You're not going to the people who try to take out whatever leaders that worked with the leaders as those guys are crew. You're not looking at them as crew. You're looking at other guys as enemy. Enemy to the cause. Forget enemy to the leader even. Same thing when you deal with Moors. Know that there's Moors that are righteous, and then there's Moors that are on low vibrations. And the low vibration Moors, that's what you're looking at, thinking that that's a division of the whole scheme of Moors. No, that's a separate entity. That's a cancer to Moors that we try to cut out every opportunity we get. Because taking some vegan and curing those dirty Moor stuff there. You have to remove that. No reversing that. That's what that is. So you eliminate that. Right? So if you look at, you've been studying and you're coming into this information and you're looking for a temple and you've been to some and you're like, forget this, I don't want to be part of this. Know that there's some temples out there. There's Brother Grand Sheet Nature El Bay and Nika El Bay in Asbury Park or near Asbury Park. There's Brother Heru in Atlanta. Obviously, there's Canaanland Moorish Temple. There's Brother Ramiel in Cali or near Cali. There's Brother Cosmo L. Cali. There's Moors Order of the Round Table, Philadelphia. Moorish Heritage and History School, that's Blog Talk and everything else, RV Bay Publications. But when you say join a temple, look at that, broaden your perspective to temple being body politic, not some people that have this building. Don't get lost in the people with the building are the point when you join and then they give you something because you joined and all that stuff. Forget the building, because we have honorary membership, right, to our temple for people who aren't in Canaanland that, they might not have a temple where they're at. Or they went to the temple and they realized that this is some BS. Why am I even, and certain Moors, that are doing stuff right, they really don't have the ability to do the honorary because of the obligations people are going to have if they say they're a quote unquote member. But as far as, that's why we say honorary membership, so that it's clear that there's certain things that we just can't do because you're not here and we're not where you're at. But, you use some honorary membership and prove that. You can wave your lela around. These people talking BS, trying to tell you about, you need to do this, you need to do that in order to be part of their thing, and you mentioned Canaanland Moors. Well, I'm part of Canaanland Moors temple. They start telling me about that's not a real temple and all that. Know that those people are dirty. Know that their Grand Sheik probably hasn't wrote a book. They probably have their classes secluded to their little temple, not online where they're supposed to take this to the hedges and the highways. But they already know that if they bring the BS online and certain Moors find out, then we shut them down, which will be worse for them because now it's public. Whereas they could just stay in their little corner and play like they're doing what Noble Drew Ali said. When they themselves know that they're not doing what Noble Drew Ali said, when you go check them, they don't got a paper, they don't got, leadership didn't write any books, members aren't even doing anything relative to, members are just going there, just to go there, because they're Moors, so they go to their meetings. But then they just go home and they're not Moors again until temple. So if you want honorary membership, you can send me a membership form. If anybody is interested, you can email canaanlandguide@gmail.com. And again, it's just honorary membership. And remember, you can pretend and try to say, oh yeah, we're going to get in and do something to this and cause this to whatever. No, this will tear you up before you tear this up. So don't get too excited. You got your foot in the door. Like these doors are, the doors that crush your foot. Is these doors. But you can put your foot there if you want to. But when your foot's crushed, don't get mad. Don't complain after. The more I slammed the door on my foot, 500-pound door. Why is your foot in the way of the door? It means stop the door from closing. You want to try to stop 100-pound door? You could try, but I would suggest leave the damn door alone. Stop playing games. Right? So we have honorary membership, and remember, with your honorary membership, the prerequisite is that you're gonna go study. Right? This is not we're gonna do something for you because we're the Moorish whatever, and we're gonna do for you so that you can know you're gonna do for yourself. We're just here doing our best to get you some info so that you can save yourself. Because trust me, our we're saving you days, them days are over. Don't even look for it. Don't even look for it. Because we can't save you. It doesn't work like that. People might have pretended like it worked like that. You might have pretended that it worked like that, but it doesn't work like that. You're gonna be given the information, you're gonna be given the reference points so that you can do your own studying. You're gonna do your own studying, and you yourself are going to wake yourself up. You're gonna do that. Because you're going to start getting information. You're going to start realizing how vast this is. And not only that it's vast, but that the more you learn, the more your energy changes, the more you start realizing how in tune you've been. That you've been slacking on yourself. Because you had this idea that you weren't a Moor. You were something else. So yes, join all the whatever bodies that you can, but have knowledge before you join so that they don't play you. Because these people love to take advantage. These people love to take advantage of your ignorance. Don't let them take advantage of your ignorance. It's not right. For you, it's not right. So as soon as you start realizing that, damn, I'm studying with these people, or I've been, you know, past 15, 20 years or whatever like that. Ain't nothing going on. Like, we're just, like, there's nothing happening. We haven't done any community cleanups, or we haven't went and fed the hungry. We haven't had a barbecue. We haven't gone on a trip anywhere. We just come to these meetings and then that's it. Just come to meetings, sing some hymns, pray. Now you know that that's church that they're playing. And it might be time for you to, you know, with all due respect, might be time to move on a little bit. So, Brother Jimmy, I'll get you that membership form since you're looking for a temple. And, you know, send you the instructions, and all you gotta do is just be studying, you know what I mean? This is your birthright. So, you know, do your thing. This is your birthright. We're just letting you know this is your birthright. That's all. We're just letting you know this is your birthright. We're just letting you know this is yours. I haven't got one, but we have to try to get a closer brother Navi, because the one of those things was one of those pages from the Othello was blurry when I make it bigger. But yeah, you can go, make sure you go check Othello, the Moor of Venice. You realize that they know this is not just some stuff that we're talking about because, you know, we trying to prove to you that we're Moors and all that. You don't really have anything to prove like that. We already know what's up. We don't really have anything to prove. There's another book reference out there, Moorish Spain. But just check it out. You know what I mean? Just check it out. You'll be surprised what you find on your treasure hunt. You'll be surprised what you find on your treasure hunt. And more probably been messaging me. Right? You'll be very surprised what you find. So, Brother Amir Sharif L, Islamism GS. Amir Sharif L chiming in. Been plucking the web via Instagram, using it as the hedges and the highways since they call it the super information highway. I've linked with multiple active Moors, declared and unconscious, yet they are on the same vibration. I say this to say, some new Moors I have linked with in the Louisiana territory sent me a link to a prime minister to see what I noticed wrong on the site. First, the red flag was no red flag with the green 5-point star. Then I noticed in the toolbar a Daughters of Noble Drew Ali application section. This prime minister lady, Doria Bey, got these two new Moors for 300 notes for nationality cards and bashed Grand Sheikh Taj and RV Bey Publications, saying they are a publications company. How are they nationalizing people? We know how these dirties do. She's not returning the fiat and says the process has started, and that's that. The Moors learned the lesson of study before you jump out there. The brother is on his way where I am at Northwestern Exum to gain his fiat back and go through RV Bay Publications for him and his Moabites identification cards and further study. All in all, great lesson and a blessing in disguise. Me and this Moor are about to start something serious. While he's here with me, we're going to call into the broadcast, etc. We speak on what happened and what has developed since we pressed palms for the first time. Keep up the good work, GS. Appreciate you. You sparked the right Moor. Peace, love, and light to you and the Moor Avengers. Canaanland Moors rock. So again, right? Title people. You got title people. As soon as they got title, as soon as they call themselves something before they rep the Bay or the L, you know you have a title person. So you have to automatically just, you know, keep an eye on, right? Just keep an eye on, you know. And again, it's a shame that, you know, these people are gonna like talk BS about the master teachers, right? In order to get sales. That they're gonna talk BS about the master teachers to try to get the sale, right? No different than Nanya Shabuel. Talk BS against the master teacher, try to get the sale. No different than young Pharaoh. Talk BS against the master teacher, Noble Drew Ali, try to get some sale. No different than Seti. Talk BS about whatever, try to get, like, it's the same thing all the time. They always try to talk BS about the masters who's been paid the dues already. Not just their own dues, they pay dues for everybody else. Just because. This is not, we're united over here. We're unified. Moorish Unified Front toward Islam, Mufti. Unified. Don't group us up with all these other crazy Moors out here. Don't group us with these other Moors that you think those are not the Moors, and so I'm not going to be a Moor because Moors must be like them. No, we're not them. We're not those Moors. Don't put us in any category with these clowns. We categorize ourselves. You might say Alodio, card-carrying Moors. You might say active Moors. You might say Hulk smash Moors. You might say whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. But just remember, always remember, right, that every Moor is not your brother. Every Moor is not your brother. Every Moor is not your brother. Right? Remember, just keep that. You know, we've been here. It's not anything new. We've been here. Told you. We pressed palms with Bobby Hemmett, not because we went to a lecture. We brought him here for a lecture. We pressed palms, again, Dr. Boyd Graves. If you never heard of him, make sure you look him up. Make sure you go get the US Special Virus Flowchart. The U.S. Corporation Special Virus Flowchart, where they tell you about every drug that they got for the Negro. Every drug, and then who it's targeted for. And the target of all the drugs, no matter whatever it is, the Negro is the target. Every single drug. Anything comes off the press of drug press, yeah, you guys, some Europeans might be taking that for something, but the target is these Asiatics. Keep them deaf, dumb, and blind. That's the plan. That's what they're up to. US special virus flowchart. Everything, every disease that they were going for the Asiatic, a flowchart of stuff that they're going to use against the Asiatic, and Asiatic playing around. They don't want to hear what Moors are saying. Go look up Dr. Boyd Graves and keep in mind he's RIP and ask yourself why. How come he's RIP? He wasn't that old. Oh yeah, he had a gay lover and stuff like that, and yeah, he died of AIDS. He died from the same virus flowchart that he put out and showed people that would. Okay, all right, if they say so. But you know, after he died, you stopped hearing about the U.S. special virus flowchart. After he died, you don't hear about that no more. How come after he died, you don't hear about the flowchart anymore? Somebody's playing. Somebody's playing, but they're only playing with the Negro black colored people because they allow themselves to be played with. So we want to say Islam to all the Moors. Don't forget, Blog Talk Radio, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, 7:30. I mean 9:30. Well, if it was on 7:30, we'd be late right now. 9:30. 347-945-5899. 347-945-5899. Call in early because show fills up fast. Show fills up very fast. So make sure you call in. And the second number, 425-569-5201. 425-569-5201. And 347-945-5899. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Don't big me up, big up yourself. If it wasn't for Moors wanting this info, it might be Negro still. And Brother Barlow, I'll also get you your membership form. To get off this thing, I'll email the form to you as well, bro. And don't forget, Brother Hassan has his astrology workshop, up and coming astrology workshop, Astrology 101 with Brother Hassan Ghazi El Bey. 443-376-8764, 443-376-8764, or email HASANGHAZIELBEY, HASANGHAZIELBEY at gmail.com. Class is going to be the 21st, which is this Saturday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the House of Reawakening Minds. The House of Reawakening Minds, 602 Vandiver Avenue. 602 Vandiver Avenue. There's also going to be vegan cuisine on deck from Drop Squad Kitchen. And it's 52 notes for the tuition for the class, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And, you know, more goes in on his astrology. So know that you're going to get something. You're going to get something out of it. You're going to get something. You're definitely going to get something that you never got before you went. So, and then if you know, it's one of those things you just can't support or whatever, you can't be there, but you want to support, you could send the 52 notes to cash.me/$reawaken. cash.me/$reawaken or paypal.me/Naila Gilliam. NAILAHGILLIAM. NAILAHGILLIAM. Student receives student supplies, preparation literature, also the meal comes with the tuition. It's a good deal. You get food and you get the knowledge or whatever, and it's Drop Squad Kitchen. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. So go get your learn on this Saturday. And again, if you can't make it there and you just want to show support, you know, feel free to throw something in the hat, throw something in the envelope. You know what I mean? I'm sure it will be greatly appreciated and go to some good. Opposed to you guys giving these people finance for them to go pay police to secure their lectures and stuff. People tripping. So Islam Moors, peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. And you already know how we do on the closeout. Islam Moors. Invasion. Watch for democracies, hypocrisy, philosophies, fear and chop factories, pseudo-call mockeries and poppy fields, blocking swinging chops without Moroccan shields, industry demonic flow, versus folks from shopping fields, coffin fields empty, buried in the battlefields, working on the streets is walking in some cattle fields. King Alfred gruesome, love a mental snoozing, sleepwalking and talking, cell phones are soothing. Minds disappearing, genetic memory erasing. Don't even have a job, but they get you for tax evasion. Hot like a frying pan, crying fam, lion men. News guys inspired men, no loyalty, just buying friends. No credit, debt slaves, walking over paved graves. Enslaved, enraged, marriage to death, prearranged. Mike Sufi Genie, bomb tracks bikini. Stupid niggas call my first bucket hat when they see me, but won't ask a thing or drink the water that I bring. But when the Pope comes, they're kissing on the ring. They rather drink a rapper's flows from the black fountain. Pipe Piper got the dead lined up in the thousands. Confusion with illusions, infusion with sorcery. Won't give up my birthright no matter what they offer me. No deal. Push the red button, I'm going home. Close my eyes, me SNL and Bendo. The fire that we put on roll, make them all shake. Islamism grand sheep, not spelled like shake. Open minds, not scared on when you enter my zone. I wouldn't call it murder when I snap the neck of my clone. clowns trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Be the space retarder, no making me a martyr. Sir, I am larger. Aura is my armor. When I plant a seed in man's soil, round farmer. Use the almanac, sort of like an almanac. Keep listening to sleepless hip-hop insomniac. Moorish MC, call me that acquiesce, don't call back, just fall back. Any rapper after 95, all whack. Their flow just trickles like drops on icicles. Rappers need training wheels on their rhyme-sickles. Keep people's mind pickled in a lost realm. When it comes to Moorish MCs, I'm at the helm. Invasion. Trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Be the space retarder, no making me a martyr. If you heard, I am larger. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Invasion. Trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Be the space retarder, no making me a martyr. If you heard, I am larger. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Invasion. If you hear, get your hand in my pocket in my lecture. No El Hajj Malik repeat, I betcha. Sergeant of the Moorish Unified Front toward Islam. Twist your arm like a blunt, won't spark it. But like Tiger Claw, debark it. Before anyone saw, not Cain, but I'm raw. Long live Iron Sheet, slaying the weak. Rhyming about rims spinning on their Jeep. Making a mockery of the art and hard work. Put in by the veterans, now they gotta work. Guru in a coma, rap heart attack. I'm sure a premier beat would bring the God back. Can't give it too much time in my rhyme, but I know mostly in rhyme they doing the crime. Build a ball court, a whack remedy. Living right around me is my worst enemy. I see that they look just like me. Award for hip hop when you're not an MC. Mastering the ceremony, very lonely. Rapping genuine, riding the beat ponies. Scrap the DJ and dancer like a phony. If you see me in some skinny jeans, you know they clone me. If you hear me rapping about crap, I'm Coke B. So do me like Big L or J and smoke me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. If you hear I killed Assistant Grand Chief, just know they're trying to get me down the Drew Ali road. Release me into the hands of Moors dirty, knowing that they conspire and wanna hurt me. Offering me dishes with glass splinters, so they'll give me a ride, leave my jacket in the winter. Try to get me through she-cast with no weakness. Don't get it twisted cause you see her speechless. I put more trust in Jupiter KTS than fake Moors with more records than JBS. Telling me they save, but just wanna be paid. Don't wanna pay dues, but be men that's made. Pushing like the travel, but don't defend. And only when backs against the wall, they wanna be friend. That's why I watch no face and beg no friend. Cause only Arab chambers will be there in the end. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. So fly, no lie, so hot, I know this. Sniff your whack lines, you're so hopeless. Clones and drones, skull and boning. Getting homes for a loan and rims chroming. Crap shooting, watermelon eating. Mad cow, bird flu, chicken stealing. Human raccoon running through daisies. Selling out your race cause you're so lazy. Think you on a level when he owns your masters. And master is holding his guard in laughter. thinking you're balling. Not me, you're fooling. Armchair revolutionaries cooling. Hot like Mims, lynched from trees called Tims. Posing with your fat ass on covers of Maxim. Big fly eye shades under big brims. And some tight jeans you shouldn't wear, you're too slim. Can't stand your flow, it got me snoozing, drooling, falling asleep from your cooling. If I go to your show, it's me that's booing. Even if I may lay with my blood cooling. Go back to the essence with those old schooling. In the next realm, I'm just keeping it moving. Don't need a whip, on comets I'm cruising. I'm the spirit, you need a bottle, stay boozing. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. I see some of my worst enemies live right around me and look just like me. Every time I watch the news, I used to shot. Only has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigue. Bloody red eye from huffing on that green weed. Youths want it fast and don't want to wait. No matter who's hurt by the actions bait. I used to be like y'all with rods and rolls, paying no attention to the sacred scrolls. Treating goddess like bitches and some like hoes. Shopping like a gold digger for racks of clothes. More shoes than feet, I still have some today. Most I gave to United Way. Nautical Polo, Eddie Bauer denims. It didn't really matter, every night pockets fatter. 2 G's a night, didn't save a penny. Got the boy rich, spending dollars on Remy. Not a gunner with the automatic semi. I was a runner, got a call, meet me at the deli. Go get the rock, make a quick chop, and with the next man, leave the grand in the Ziploc. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes, bloody red eyes. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes from huffing on that green weed. The secret of the game is to get out early. Few went to jail, came out and said they heard me. Sitting in a cell charging beast batteries. Making plates for the corporate state battery of rights. Cellmates spit on dogs, I had no helmets on bikes. That's when the brothers like, when I get out, tell the sheik he's right. Few months later, he was on a flight. I missed the call and got his message. He said he called to let me know he got the message. Walking on the street called Moore, and he's in Germany, brethren. I know you missed it, so I say it again. He's in Germany, and there's a street called Moore. That's not hearsay, I'm telling you what he saw. And he's supposed to be at risk from the hood, where all they do is bad and nothing good. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes, bloody red eyes. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes from huffing on that green weed. Drug deals gone bad, bodies dumped in fields. Following some baby Master P type reels. Playing the game, you don't win when you're in. Kush told me, yo, I gotta go in. I caused it on myself, not knowing thyself. Most think know thyself is a book on the shelf. It's fruition, really ask Taj to read Bay or Grand Sheik Nation L. What's heaven and hell? They probably have you there for 10 hours. Using memory notepads with packy dot powers. Talking to yourself in the mind outside the matrix of hip hop. Because Black Dot saved it, go broke us. Frontin' like you don't know us. House of Consciousness in Toronto is cause of us. 360-degree universal student. Mastering self and show the youth man how to do it. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes, bloody red eyes. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes from huffing on that green weed. intelligence. If he's got a gun and magic as his defense, my offense is my right with intelligence. Colors on my nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. I'm back. More sheep, more iron, more heads in the hands and front mics crying, more props. Big up yourself, you sell out agent. Stop that, the light, none to this in your conveyance. General Khalid Muhammad said he's a more. Fake Muwapian say don't put L after yo. Fake NOI burn a larger food apex. All you could do is break my bones and stones and sticks. Toronto, conscious school town for boule clones. No entry with a felon, lectures over the phone. With intelligence, hence we don't break, we bend. Send energy back and forth in sequence, forth and back. Most don't want me on a track. I tell rappers about their tight shirts and showing ass cracks, not actions. Ignorance makes you a sinner. Get up from under and understand conscious beginner. Become energy dinner or advertisers, speakers. Beg my flow to come through the amplifiers. With no mic check, few takes through mic wires. That's rappers hold defendants or gas liars. If he's got a gun and magic as his defense, my offense is my right with intelligence. Colors on my nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Some call the races having us in their hands because of your ignorance and no intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Alchemists on beats, no full metal. Rapping dummies, glaring ignorance rolls and sea pebbles. You got nothing, flying like it's precious stones. Think you got money cause they gave you a loan. In the mirror, do you see X or P Newton? Do you see a black or more or a European? Do you see a Trinbagonian or Jamaican? Or a member of Earth's first population? What do you see in the mirror? A goddess like T or a sellout? Supporting Master Hill figure. Ask in the mirror, how you looking straight veinless? Negroes see the God but acting aimless. Some look and see wives of self-shapeshift. Some look and find the truth in eyes dark places. Revlon and Maybelline fake faces. Makeup, cat and hot ex-slave mental cases. With blonde weaves, that's not bad of course. Forgot to mention in Rome, blonde hair identified horse. We are not guilty but want to be innocent. Guilt is responsible. Intelligence. If he's got a gun and badge as his defense, my offense is my right with intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Some call the races having us in their pens because of your ignorance and no intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence.
KGP Beats.
Time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. Mind elevation, time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation, time is wasted, I use the mind elevation. Mind elevation.
I know it's a lot to digest, but that doesn't mean you should digress. Stay on the studies, knowledge is power. As man thinketh, so is he. Be a lot in man, G-O-D. Generator, operator, destroyer. Hold up, give it a chance before you. Throw in the towel and call it quits. Take time to think what the prophet Drew Ali did. He bankrupted the U.S. so you could be free. Brought back El-Bay, Al-Day, and Ali. He brought back civilization, found his mainframe. Not only in appearance, but an abstract strain. Brought back the constitutional folder game. I know pigs got guns, just maintain. Put the guns down. Have you lost your brain? They got nukes, tanks, and drone bomber planes. Yeah, black power, but RBG, a Moroccan flag colors. Can't you see? I know your sight is going, but you're not blind yet. It's all in your mind anyway, so don't mind threats. Life is too short. Not talking to rap pimp, calling yourself nigga when that's a chip. Cave dweller, hey fella, a monkey is who you think you are, you stupid junkie. Hide your ignorance and ignorance. From sheets warning you of King Alfred plans. It's not about being in courts, but make them hear you. Declare your nationality, don't let them scare you.
Feel the time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind
50 posts a
elevation.
day of brutality on Facebook. I know it's a lot, I still say study law books. Cause uniform pigs, wolves with badges creep. Ready to sink teeth in cause you act like sheep. Passive and docile, needing a shepherd. And the one you choose got rooms with horse checking. Compass and square sigils with a G in the middle. Have masses follow them like he's playing a fiddle. Have masses follow them cause masses scared shitless. Stay witless but post the world star when they bear witness. Always waiting for the right from simple trickness. All your black leaders are on King Alfred hit list. Dirty Moors smelling like they got shit dip. Picture for Aquarian age, make them switch hit. Like when I found 2 ounces and did a quick flip. From black to Moorish American, give devils split lips. Men walking with slit pupils and lipless. Talking my language like this is Genesis. I used to be one of society's menaces. Acting devilish makes me shake my head every time I reminisce about the past. Living fast at night, no days. Full ahead of waves and low flow days. I know those days won't be coming back again. Change is good, but I still beg no friend.
Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind
Conscious
elevation.
coons try to school me with limited knowledge. Taught to them by overseers from Masters College. 5 G's a year, I call that robbage and racketeering. Mental slave boats got mine stacked to the ceiling with info and data. Too many more haters. Dissing the Moors birthright is dissing yours, player. Conscious coons chasing MCA fiat paper, not to be mean, but pyramid schemes for later. Grabbing at your attention like air and don't care. Looking at a computer screen with a dead blank stare. I'm the Moorish MC, no pranks here. If you're too punk to be a Moor, just stand fair. If you scared to die, you better throw in the towel. A lot of black African group movements are vowel. Bow well, they say Moors, but they talking black shit. That's still brown, I think your brains in backwards. Common sense broke his neck from a backflip. Some knowledge people get is like a crack epidemic. Nothing but denial. When I call up a Moor, they don't even watch the German Moors classic Moor and Bay. Didn't watch Moorish Connection to hip hop. NBA nigga slaves got youths in flip flops and minus degrees, like he's Bosch in Miami Beach. So hungry with money and fronts in his teeth. Of lab weed or chemicals he always reeks. Not saved by the bell, punk or rap and screech. MC Captain teach the same boys on Backstreet. Get in the booth, run through beats like track meets. I call me a KTS and calling out as witness. Moorish MC, when I rap I spit gifts. Rapping blood clot dummies are on my hit list. Blowing through the air, no kush, just natural mystics. I stay lawful, they want me legalistic. I'm on the corner schooling young gods you call mystics.
Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I use the mind elevation. I use the mind elevation. Time is wasted. I